Hello everyone and welcome to From the Heart Friday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. Hello, hello, happy Friday. As you can see from my sweatshirt here, today's cards feature hearts, some beautiful hearts. We are playing with the Hearts of Elegance bundle, which is part of Stampin' Up's marbled, say that again, Marbled Elegance Suite collection, which is an online exclusive collection of beautiful papers, gorgeous stamps and dies. And I have two fabulous fun folds for you today. So I hope my voice holds up. Each day I'm getting a little bit better, but I still have a bit of the coughing. Hi Hilda, hello, hello. So glad to have you join me. And yes, if you are tuning in, please leave me a comment. Let me know you're here and where you're tuning in from. Let me show you these gorgeous cards. We have two fun folds. This is my fun fold workshop of the month. And those of you who placed orders with me, qualifying orders in the month of December, received packets to complete these projects. And I intended to do this last week, but I was too sick for a video. So today it's finally happening. Hi Carol, you're not late. I'm just getting started. Hello, hello. So yes, grab your packets if you have them, and if not, tune in. I want to jot down some directions. I think this is a video you're definitely going to want to go back and watch the replay again. So make sure you bookmark this, give it a like, that thumbs up, because check out these gorgeous cards. I mean, we've got the gold foil with the stitched detailing. This marbled elegance paper with the gold foil swirl is beautiful. We've got little hearts and shimmer. Not one fun fold, but a second one. So I'm not really sure what to call this. I guess a double flap card. I don't really know that it has a name. Let me know if you've seen this before or what you think we should name it. But gorgeous flap, room for lots and lots of hearts. All right, this is JessBCreativeCardiology, and while I am not a heart doctor, I am a paper doctor of sorts. We create art from the heart here. The second card, all right, it seems, straightforward from the front, but check this out when we untie this ribbon. It opens, and we have a gift card pocket in here. Super cool. So I'm going to show you how to make both of these. All right, so stay tuned. Let me go ahead and flip the camera so we can get started. I'm excited to share these projects with you. Okay, so just a little flip around here. And of course, just a little basic information. We are in the month of January. We have two brand new catalogs. We have online exclusives, additional online exclusives, and scrapbooking products. All right, all along with celebration happening here January 7th through February 28th. My host code for your online orders is UAXK4PMJ. All right, that helps associate your order with me as your demonstrator so I can send you my fabulous tutorials. This project here is actually part of my tutorial bundle for the month. So all of you, even if you didn't get a packet from December, if you place an order of $50 or more with me here in the month of January, you will get the tutorial for this project as well as 14 other 11 Heart Projects tutorials from our Create With Us tutorial team. Hi, Kat. Hello, hello. Oh, sunny Texas. That sounds so nice. We actually have sunshine today, which is great, but it has been so cold. We have had single-digit temperatures here all week, and with wind chills, it's been so windy. It's been below zero. We actually had a frozen pipe in in our bathroom at the end of the house. One of the cold water pipes was froze down in the wall. So even though we had the cabinetry open, I mean, you guys know that's not so fun to have to empty your bathroom cabinet so that you can force some heat. We had a little space heater we projected into there, and at 3:30 this morning, because of course we left the faucet on in case it, unthawed, At about 3 o'clock this morning, we heard a gush of water, and thankfully that pipe finally unthawed, and we're in double digits today. It's in the 20s, so a little bit better. We are expecting, I think, some snow tonight and through the weekend, but thankfully we were not. We're actually where I am. I lived between Ithaca and Syracuse, New York, just off of Cayuga Lake in the Finger Lakes region of central New York. If you look at New York, there's kind of like this horizontal section before it branches off, and I'm right in the middle there. And we have been missed by some of that massive amounts of snow that went north and south of us. So we've been pretty fortunate, just a little bit of lake effect coming down from Lake Ontario a little bit. All right, so that's that's the story of what's been going on here. But let me show you these products. Like I said, we're using the Marbled Elegance collection. Oh, Hilda, you're in Utica. David's grandmother lives in Utica. Yeah, or actually she lives in Rome, excuse me, which is, neighboring there to Utica. Yeah, well, that's not too far. All right, if you have not seen this paper yet, it's gorgeous. I've used quite a bit of it already, but it's got so many of these fun, it's called Marbled Elegance for a reason, because we have these marble swirl. We've got all shades of reds and pinks, and they all have these fun gold foil tidbits through them. Of course, we have stripes and some like speckled design. We've got little leaves, and we've had beautiful flowers. So these patterns are really unique. This has been a really fun paper. And along with that is the adhesive backed heart sequins. Really like those. And the nice thing too is that these are completely flat. So they add a fun touch of gold foil without adding any bulk to your projects. Part of the Sweet collection was some gold cording. I was not really a fan of that. And actually that gold cording has been, I think it's finally back in stock. It was on back ordered for a while. My favorite ribbon to use with this paper is the Cherry Cobbler and Gold ribbon. This was actually part of the Regal Flora collection from the holiday mini catalog, but it's a satin ribbon. It's a 1/4 inch, a cherry cobbler with gold, and it ties so nicely. So this is my favorite ribbon, and we'll be using that. We use that here on this first project. It ties so nicely and it lays flat. On the second project, I did use some gold ribbon, but it was not the typical gold ribbon from that collection. This was actually part of a 2-pack. Let's see if I could find it here. This is the gold and silver trim combo pack. This is also an online exclusive, but it is still available, and you get both silver and gold, so you get 2 rolls of ribbon, but it's a little bit wider. I'd say it's 1/8 of an inch. It is flat, but I find that this ties a lot nicer than that skinny little like twine. All right, so this is the gold, and of course then you got the silver too, and the silver has like a little bit of a white stripe down it. So check out the gold and silver trim combo pack. That's 161633. All right, so now that you know everything we're going to be working with here, and of course for these 2 projects I'm using Real Red and Melon Mambo ink pads, okay, along with the Hearts of Elegance stamp set and the dies here. All right, now I did put them on a magnetic sheet, but they do all fit nicely in here, and you can see how large some of these dies are. For these projects, I primarily used this mid-size die. It's the one, kind of like the second, third of the open dies. It's the second size, but if you're counting from smallest, it's the third one. And then my favorite die is this one here with the stitched stitching on it, which is just so beautiful. I love the detail that adds. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Just a heads up too, today is the last day to place your order of $60 or more with me to qualify for my stack, cut, and shuffle card kit, okay? So if you place an order of $60 or more, I will send you a 6-card kit to make stack, cut, and shuffle cards, which I showed in Tuesday's video. You will also get my fun fold workshop of the month, which I will show you those cards. You'll make them with me in February. And if your order is $75 or more, you'll also get a free embellishment. You'll get both card kits and embellishment. And the embellishment I am giving this month to go along with my stack, cut, and shuffle cards are these fun little bumblebees, the tiny bee trinkets. They're so cute. And they're so tiny. All right, lots of fun stuff. All right, I did send out all of the details of that in my newsletter this month. And if you are not part of my newsletter, the link is in my video description. Go ahead and click that link and subscribe so that you can find out all the awesome stuff I've got going on this month. Okay, so let's make our double flap card. I guess that's what I'm going to refer to it as, the double flap card. We're gonna make this one first, okay? All right, so if you received a card kit from me, all right, here are the materials that we are working with. All right, so for this project, you need, I'm using 2 shades of the red. I'm using Real Red. This is a half sheet at 4 1/4 by 11. And I scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, so we're just folding that in half. So this is just a half sheet of cardstock, and it is cut the portrait way. All right, so 4 1/4 by 11, folded in half, and that forms our card base. Okay. Now let's take care of business. I always forget to put my cardstock on the inside, so I have a bit of basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and we're gonna touch this in here, tuck it in here on the inside. All right, there we go. So we've got a nice place to write our message against that dark red cardstock, and you'll see too, we are going to decorate the inside, so stay tuned for that. Okay, now you wonder, usually I make my cards more of I cut them at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I did this one at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it this way for a reason, because with the flap and the different elements that we have here, I wanted to be able to not only have the card stand up, all right, so that you could actually see these cool elements. Yes, I wanted it to stand up. I wanted to have a nice smooth edge on the top. And just the way everything opens, you definitely want to have it folded this way as opposed to the other. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right. Now for the front, we're going to do a little bit of accessorizing here first. Okay, so before we glue anything down, you'll see that this top flap of our designer paper, it tucks behind both layers. All right, so that it's nice and smooth here at the top. So what I've done is taken a piece of the marbled Elegance paper, and the nice thing is you can use any pattern with this, and I cut this to 3 inches. It is 3 inches wide and it's 6 inches. All right, so 3 by 6 is all you need for this. Okay, any of the patterns work. Like I said, I've got a couple of card kits here. I'm going to be doing this card with my team next week at our team meeting on Monday. And so any of the patterns work. All right, they're really beautiful paper, really versatile. Okay, now with this particular pattern, you'll notice there are some hearts. There is a heart design, a directional print on the back. Okay, just a little tip, if you are using a print like this, when you are scoring it for the flap, you actually want to put your little score line, you want your print upside down to start with. Okay, I know that seems a little bit odd. All right, but there's a reason for this. So hold your paper with your print upside down. All right, that's going to be the back side. So hold it upside down. All right, and we are going to score just a little 1/2 inch, just a smidge. Okay, so this was 3 by 6. All right, so we're scoring it at a 1/2 inch. There at the top, get your cutting blade out of the way and just lightly score that. Okay, you don't want to press too hard. You don't want to tear through your paper. We need this to work for us. So we just want a light score line there to create this flap. Okay, and you can use your tear and tape. You can use anything you want here on this flap. All right, just go ahead and fold that over, burnish that a little bit, and you'll notice that once you put it on your card, when you open it, the hearts are right side up, okay? So that's why we scored it upside down, so that when we actually open the card, you know, and your recipient looks at it, they're in the right direction. They're now all properly aligned, okay? So that was the reason for that. Okay, now before we glue this on, we've got a little bit, we're gonna build our layers a little bit first. Okay, so our base layer, I wanted to contrast against the real red, so I want to shade darker with the cherry cobbler. This piece is 3.5 by 5.5. Okay, it's the exact same height as our card base, but it's a little bit wider here so that you can see it kind of off to the sides when the card is shut. Okay, so 3.5 by 5.5. And before you glue anything, all right, you're gonna take that 3rd size heart, okay, with your die cut machine. All right, and we are going to pop a heart out of the center. It doesn't matter where on here, because honestly, this whole midsection, you know, is hidden. So I aimed for the center, okay, because we're gonna do a fun little accessorizing here to the centerpiece. So pop this part out of the center, okay? All right, that's with that mid-sized die. And then you're gonna take a piece of basic white that is the same width as your designer paper. So this is 3 by 5.5, all right? So once you got that die cut, we're going to layer this right on top. Okay, so your basic white here is 3 by 5.5. And you're going to layer that on top of the cherry cobbler that is 3.5 by 5.5. Okay, so you'll end up with something like this, and you've got the hole in the middle there. Okay. All right. Okay, so now that we've got that, we can go ahead and adhere our designer series paper flap right over the top. Notice it tucks right along, so we're gonna put that adhesive flap right here on the back. Okay, so just go ahead, add a little bit of adhesive, your favorite kind, okay? So whether it's liquid glue, Stampin' Seal, or tear and tape, okay, you just want that right over there, and it should cover the white if you, of course, in doing that, I moved it just a little bit. All right, so make sure that it covers your basic white layer, okay? Then fold it back. There we go. Now it's in the right spot, okay? So you got just that little flap in behind. You've got this. All right, your card opens. All right, it's good. So now that we've got that put together, go ahead and put your adhesive all over the back side of this panel. And it's ready to adhere this. Go ahead, put your adhesive even right through the middle. All right, and now we can adhere this to our card front, okay? Make sure your card opens in the right direction, all right, especially if you've got your paper in there already. All right, so this goes right on the front, right here in the middle. Okay, and there we go, nice and smooth along the top, along that fold line. Everything looks good. All right. Hi, Luann. Hello, hello. Yeah, they're calling it the triple, what do you call it? Triple flip. Fun full. I like that. Triple flip. That sounds fun and unique. All righty. Good name. All right, so we've got this part established, and it's missing a little something here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that red heart that we had previously cut out of our cherry cobbler layer. Go ahead and put some adhesive on the back side of that heart. All right, tape it down good. Close that front flap. All right, and then insert your heart right in the middle. I don't know if I think I skipped a step when we were talking about this flap. I talked about scoring the edge, but I forgot to tell you, you're cutting that same size heart out of the center. Okay, so that you end up with a fun marbled heart there too. Hi, Deborah from Grenville, South Carolina. That's not too far from Myrtle Beach. My husband and I head down that way a couple times a year. Beautiful. Nice, okay. So like I said, this third size heart die from the Hearts of Elegance is getting a lot of use, okay? So we cut a marbled heart from that front flap of the designer paper. We cut one from our cherry cobbler layer before we glued it down, okay? And then, so we're not quite ready for that yet. To get this gold heart, I used the stitching one here. Again, I told you I love this one. And the nice thing is it's just a little bit smaller than this one, so they do layer nicely. So I used some gold foil paper, okay, and the gold foil paper comes in 12 by 12 sheets. And honestly, I make a pack go a long way because I use little bits and scraps, whatever I've got left over. Okay, so I actually keep my gold foil in here and I keep my scraps in a clear envelope, okay, so that I can pull out various sizes with your specialty paper like this, like the gold foil. You never know when you want just a little accent piece, okay? So that's why I save these little bits, and then you're not having to cut into a whole brand new sheet of 12 by 12 just to get a little heart there. Oh, hello, David. My hubby's watching, tuning in briefly from work. All right, so just a little tip there when you're working with some of these specialty foil papers. Go ahead and keep your scraps, all right, so that they're handy when you need just a little bit, like a cute little heart. Okay. Now with this gold foil heart, we are going to layer that right there in the center. Okay, so go ahead and add your adhesive to the back side. And now it's coming, this card is coming together nicely. It layers right in there and it's so pretty. Okay. All right, and then you've got that fun double layered heart in the middle. Okay, and then this marbled heart, we're gonna add that to the inside. All right, so it's a fun surprise here, as Luann's calling this our triple flip card. All right, maybe we should call it the triple heart flip card. But we're gonna put this beautiful little marbled heart. You could place it anywhere you like, but I kind of like it right here in the middle as a fun accent, fun surprise inside the card. It's like the card just keeps getting better and better. It's beautiful on the outside. You got a fun inside, and then our third spot in the inside. Okay. All right. So let's add some of this beautiful cherry cobbler satin ribbon. All right, so you need a piece that's approximately 13, 14 inches, because what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna wrap this all the way around that front layer, okay? I don't always go all the way around. Generally, if you see me add ribbon to a project, we kind of snip off the ends and tuck them behind a layer. But with this, with it being the flap, we're gonna go all the way around. We don't want any glue, you know, messing things up in here, okay? So take your, you know, like I said, about 13 inches or so. What you can do, if you wanna secure it just a little bit, all right, I don't necessarily recommend your Stampin' Seal because it's just a little bit wider, but take just a little touch of tear and tape and place it right here, like a 1/2 inch up from your score line, from your flap. Just put a little bit of tear and tape there to help secure your ribbon, okay? So then remove the backing. Okay, so spread your ribbon out so that you're finding about the halfway point, and just go ahead and gently secure that directly over your tear and tape, okay? That'll keep it, it'll help make it a little bit sturdier for when you are tying it. If you're good at bows, that's fine. I did not leave quite enough room for a full-on bow, so we are going to just do a nice little knot. So when you're doing that, all right, pull your ribbon nice and straight, keep it flat. All right, so I like to do that. I always tie my ribbons from the same direction. And depending if you're a lefty or righty, it might be a little bit different for you. I'm primarily right-handed, so I'm securing the ribbon with my left hand. All right, pulling it down across, and then that bottom piece is up and over. All right, keeping that nice and flat. I'm gonna tuck that top piece under, okay, and then grab that with my right hand. Pull this nice and tight. All right, go ahead and put your finger, it helps sometimes if you have a stamping buddy, you know, and it's kind of like when you were tying ribbons on gift packaging. My mom always said, put your finger here. That was my job. I was the ribbon finger holder. Okay, so while I'm holding this bottom piece, I got my ribbon on the knot. I'm gonna bring that top piece down with my left hand, and then take the bottom piece up and through the middle here, up and over through the middle. Go slow, okay? Pull that nice and slow. Pull it gently, okay? And this ribbon does tie so nicely that you do end up with a nice flat knot there, okay? This ribbon, it does have a little bit of a mind of its own, okay? So if it's if it's been in your envelope and it's got a few creases like mine does, it might take a little bit to smooth it out. But I am gonna just trim it off, a little bit of the excess there, okay? And then we can always take a glue dot. All right, take a glue dot. Don't use your finger, okay? Use the spatula end of take your pick tool, or use the tip of your scissors to pick that glue dot off, and you're gonna gently slide that right underneath the knot, okay? Just secure it right under the knot of your ribbon. All right, so that way it's secured on the back side with that tear and tape, nice and smooth. That also helps to keep it from rolling when you're tying your knot too. Sometimes you get it twisted on the back, and so putting a little bit of tear and tape there keeps that nice and smooth. All right, and then just gently work that with your fingers. All right, when you put it in an envelope, it will smooth out. It just needs a little bit of time to kind of relax there a little bit. Okay, so if you received one of my kits, then this is your supplies there, and then we've got our beautiful gold foil adhesive backed heart sequins. All right, you'll notice on my other cut I do have a little flower here. I did not include that with my card kits because Stampin' Up! Does not permit us to send stamped images in kits, okay? So you'll have to modify that part, but let me show you how I did that. And actually I can use just a little scrap piece of white. I use the small flower here from the Hearts of Elegance. All right, let's just use a little block, and I'm gonna stamp that. I think on this card, I think I'm gonna stamp, I stamped this one with Cherry Cobbler, and I think this time I'm gonna do it in real red. All right, it just depends on the pattern of your swirl, what your primary color is there. So just a little bit of real red. Let's see here. All right, stamp that nicely on my scrap paper. I am gonna clean my stamp real briefly here with that, because the reds and the pinks do tend to stain your photopolymer just a little bit. So you do wanna clean those fairly quickly. All right, it will have just a little bit of a pink tint, but if you clean it quickly, that definitely does help. Okay. And then we even have a die for that. All right, we've got a little flower die here. And let me see. Grab my little cut and emboss machine here. Baby blue is who I've got handy. I actually have both colors. I have the little mini in white and in blue, and really it just depends on your preference and color. But they are great for if you attend, you know, if you stamp with friends away from home. It is nice if you're going to a stamping event or a crop or something. The mini machines are nice and portable. They don't weigh a whole lot. Okay, so you got your flower here. All right, so I did plate 1. All right, base plate 1. Let me show you that. Okay, plate 1, clear plate 2. And I'm not putting them, I am staggering them just a little bit. Okay, and then line up our die over our flower. Okay, and then second clear plate number 2. All right, and then shove them all in and crank away. There we go. And check out that beautiful flower that we've got here. Nice. Okay, so let me, again, minimal scrap because I used a scrap to cut it from. All right, we've got our little flower. We just need a dimensional. Look at that. Ooh, it's so fun to open a new package of dimensionals. It's just one of those little things that makes me happy. All right, just a single flower here on this blossom. And make sure when you do that, if you put it right here on the edge, make sure you're adhering it just to the designer paper, because otherwise, well, otherwise your flap won't open, okay? So just a little flower there if you want to add a little something, something. Okay, and then we can decorate with our hearts. So we have teeny tiny, medium, all right, teeny tiny, small, and medium here. And I kind of like, I put a little teeny tiny one in the center of my flower, just a fun little accent there. So I did a small, a medium, and the larger one, a little trio of flowers there. And then on the inside, we've got room. We can stamp a little message in here if you'd like. Okay, so with the Hearts of Elegance, so I did sending lots of love, and then you can stamp another message on the inside. Okay, so let's do sending lots of love for our middle layer here. Okay. And you could add some more little gold hearts in this section if you'd like, but like I said, they're perfectly flat, so they don't add any bulk to it. Okay, so beautiful stamp on the second layer there. All right, just cleaning my stamp quickly. And then on the inside, All right, we've got another, that gorgeous heart. So if you want to add another little accent, go ahead and do that. I'm going to use that middle size heart for just a little bit right up there. Okay, and you could then, you could even stamp your love you here if you like, or definitely you could keep it open, you know, so you can write your recipient's name and sign your name. Depends on, you know, how much you want to write. Okay, but you could stamp in this side too. All right, so there we go. Excuse me. We have our first gorgeous marbled elegance fun fold, our triple flap fun fold, whatever we'd like to call it here. Okay, triple flip, that was it. Double flap, triple flip. Aren't these gorgeous? And this paper is amazing. And I like that because it's marbled and the back sides are relatively neutral. You know, we've got flowers, we've got leaves, just kind of speckles and stripes. You really could use this for any occasion. You're not limited, you know, to like a Valentine's holiday or anything like that. I love that it truly is just a beautiful, beautiful paper that could be used for anything. It just happens to come with this gorgeous heart stamp set and dies. All right, but really, really pretty. So, okay, so that's the first card. All right, so I hope, let me know if you've stuck around this long or if you're watching a replay. All right, you definitely want to stay tuned for the second card. All right, and now this one was an idea that I did get from another demonstrator. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. So I had originally the bow there. If you saw the beginning, I untied it because then this reveals this fun little gift card pocket on the inside, and you write your message in here. All right, so again, I used the marbled Elegance. Yes, thank you, Carol. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. This paper, like I said, all shades of reds and pinks, cherry cobbler, real red, melon mambo. We've got some flirty flamingo in here. So many fun colors. So for this one, I am going to use some melon mambo. All right, so for this one, let me pull out one of my packets here. All right, and I'm using that gold trim. All right, so for this, you do have an option here. On this one, I went with just a card, just a base. I did not do a full card, okay? You could definitely do that. You could make this, in this case, I would cut it to 5.5 by 8.5, fold it at 4 1/4, and make just standard, you know, just a standard card base, okay? So you could totally do that. I just did just a base, all right? So it's 4 1/4 by 5.5. It's just a base here, excuse me. And we're building on the base, okay? I did a little 1/2 inch, excuse me, I was hoping my voice would hold up. All right, 1/2 inch border, all right? So our basic white layer is 3 3/4 by 5. And again, I used that same size heart die from our first project, all right, to die cut a basic white heart from this layer. So you want to die cut the heart from this, and again, it doesn't matter where, you just don't want to get too close to the edges, all right, because you don't want it, you know, you don't want to have a chunk missing. All right, so just die cut it from the middle, approximate middle. Save this, all right, because we're going to use this heart on the front of the card, and this little missing heart, it'll just be hidden here on the inside. So once you've die cut your heart, all right, you can go ahead and glue this layer to the base. Again, this was 3 3/4 by 5, and just gluing that to the base. Okay, that looks good. All right, we're gonna set that aside for just a little bit. Okay. Excuse me. And we are going to work with our marbled elegance paper. Okay, so what you need to do with this piece is 4 inches. All right, so it's 4 inches by 8 1/4. So 4 inches by 8 1/4. And again, it doesn't matter which piece you choose. All right, and you can get a couple of these from, 3 of them from one sheet of the marbled elegance paper, but 4 inches by 8 1/4. All right, and then we are going to do a little bit of scoring here. So grab your score tool, your trimmer with your scoring blade or your scoreboard here. Make sure you get your cutting blade out of the way. All right, and we're gonna do some scoring first. Now this paper, again, it's marbled, so it doesn't matter which end you start with, okay? And you're not gonna have the circle there yet. All right, so pretend that's not there. I'm gonna tell you what to do with that in a minute. So as you insert your paper on the long side here, you are going to make your first score at 2 3/4, okay? Again, just press lightly. So your first score is at 2 3/4. Let me open this up. And then your second score, you're gonna slide this along, is at 5 1/2. So 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. We're making this a little 3 panel. All right, 1, 2, 3 panel here. Okay, so 2 3/4 is your first score line. 5 1/2 is your second score line. And then you're going to fold these in. All right, so they should all fold up nicely. Okay, just fold them all up, layer them on top. All right, and they should, if we did 4 inches by 8 1/4 here, yep, then then it all matches, it all folds up nice and precise. Okay, so we are going to open this up. All right, you need one end, which is actually going to glue. We're going to layer this. All right, so I'm just going to show you because we got to punch first, but this is going to go down there. So one of the panels, all right, so you want it kind of open to your left. All right, so one of the panels is going to glue down on a layer of cardstock, and then you're going to have your middle one, that'll be the front, and this third layer we're going to punch. So for this, I used the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. Okay, you could use a circle die, whatever you want, but I use 1 3/4. And then my tip for this is just coming in. All right, so follow the score line here with the edge of your punch. All right, so just line that punch up with that score line and go in as far as it goes. Just push it in all the way. Can you see that? That it goes, I pushed it in all the way, okay? All right, and then and then you punch out your circle, okay? So you end up with there's the circle in my bag. All right, that's a bonus. All right, so you just punch out that circle. All right, now here's what you're gonna do. Now, if you did get a kit, I did not do this part for you, so you will need to do a little cutting. All right, so grab your snips, and we are going to cut our circle. You're going to trim. All right, trim the edges of your circle. Go right into that, just right up to the score line. Okay, so go like right across. All right, and then you're going to trim on that score line down to that cut. All right, so we cut off half the circle is what we did. All right, so you should have a little piece like this. The reason we did that, and because this now makes the flap for our gift card. So I am gonna use a little bit of tear and tape, and I wanna go right along the bottom here, because you don't want your gift card to fall out. slip out the bottom. And then just a little bit right here on this outside flap. I am using tear and tape again because it's just a little bit narrower than your Stampin' seal, okay? Or if you're doing a liquid glue, just make a tiny little line, okay? So we snipped out that half circle, okay? You can throw that part away. And then put a little bit of tear and tape along the bottom and on the outside flap, okay? So then we'll remove those flaps. There we go. All right, fold that over, okay? So that creates a nice little pocket. Let me see if I've got like a little gift card to show. Here we go. I got a Subway gift card that I was gifted. All right, so that would fit right here perfectly. Okay, so your standard gift card fits in that nice little pocket. All right, and then we have a layer because you want to be able to write a little message in here. So this cute little inside layer is 2.5 by 3 3/4. 2.5 by 3 3/4. Go ahead and insert this inside your little mini card here. Okay. All right, you can stamp a little message if you want on the inside. You could do whatever or write your message, okay? All right, now fold this up. Make sure your gift card's on the top. And place adhesive on the back side of this, okay? This part. And you wanna make sure it's secure, all right? We're going to adhere this to a layer. Again, I'm using Melon Mambo, but again, whatever your color preference. This layer is 3 1/4. 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. All right, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And this is going to layer right on top, okay? Right here in the middle. All right, so you've created like a little mini card here. All right, again, this layer on the back is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now we've got our little mini card here, and now comes the fun part because we have to adhere it to this, but we want to have that fun wrap to keep it secure so it doesn't just stay popped open like that. Okay, so we're going to use the gold trim, and I like to make sure I have enough trim, not only to, in case you got fat fingers like me, you want to be able to maneuver the trim, but you want enough so that you can actually tie it, right? So that you can secure it closed. Okay, so I went ahead and I did a full like 16 inches. Okay, if you're measuring on your glass mat, I just went the full width of my glass mat and trimmed it off. That's how much twine I did. Okay, now for this one, you're gonna wrap this around, kind of find the halfway mark. All right, so pull your ribbon here. If you've got it kind of hugging your mini card here. All right, so your ends should be about even here. Okay, so make sure, there we go. All right, that's basically what you do. You hug your ribbon around it, okay? Make sure it's even. And see how it did get twisted on the back. So just hold it, there we go, kind of untwist it. Now I'm gonna put my adhesive here on the back of this Melon Mambo layer. I like to put a little adhesive kind of hugging each side of my ribbon. All right, just maneuver that all around here. Okay, I'm holding, you could probably knot that If it's hard for you to hold it, just tie a little knot in the end of the ribbon here, just loosely, okay, just for temporary purposes, just so that you can wrap that ribbon all the way around. And then this is going to be placed in the center over that die cut heart, okay? All right, the reason I want to secure it first is, again, it gives it some stability so that you can pull on the ribbon without it slipping and sliding all around, okay? So we do struggle through that first little bit, just so we've got some nice secure stability here. Again, I tie my ribbons, I pull with my left hand, come up and over with my right. And you want to do it over here on the edge. You don't want to do it right in the center, all right, because we're going to layer our heart over top. So make sure you pull this off to the side, okay, or up here to the top. It's the right side, depending on how you have it positioned, okay? All right, so hold that up to the top. Again, secure with your left hand, come up and over with your right. This is if you're a righty. Place that over, pull it through, all right? And then if it helps, go ahead and just do a loose knot, or if you can, just forget the knot and just tie your loops, okay? Because you do want the recipient to be able to open it and not have to tear the card apart to untie that knot. So just forget the knot and just gently pull through with your loops, okay? So that's the reason why I did such a long length of ribbon, so that I had room to maneuver here. Okay, so that I've got room for this, okay? So hopefully, all right, if you have to tie it a couple times, just keep going, okay? I know bows are not the easiest thing for people. If you forego if you forego the bow and just do a knot, make sure you just keep it loose, okay? Don't be pulling that tight, or they'll never get it open, okay? So just loose knot if you do it that way. All right, just keep it loose, okay? And then you could trim it off. All right, so now to decorate the front, we're taking that white heart that we die cut from that first layer. All right, and this is where we will stamp our message. All right, so grab our stamps here. Again, you can use, we've got a to from, hugs and kisses. All right, my heart belongs to you, whatever you like here. I love this, sending lots of love, right? Because that can be used for anything. So grab that this time, because this paper, and I'm using Melon Mambo, so I'm going to use some Melon Mambo ink for this one. All right, if you do the sending lots of love, it just fits right up here towards the, make sure your stamp is fully inked. That helps. Okay. And it just fits there towards the top portion, the widest portion of the heart. All right. Again, give your stamp a quick, whoops, excuse me, didn't mean to startle anybody. Give your stamp a quick clean. Okay, now we'll use some dimensionals. And I had just opened that brand new pack. What did I do with that sheet of dimensionals? I don't know. I don't know how things disappear so quickly. All right, so one on each lobe of the heart, and then one down here at the point. All right, this allows your ribbon to flow through the middle. And place this right here in the center of your card. All right, gorgeous. So that's why we tied our knot off to the side, okay? And then we'll use our fun heart embellishments. Again, decorate as you see fit, but it is so fun. I love these little hearts. So since we keep with the rule of thirds, I'm using one of each size and just doing fun little hearts here. on the front. Hi, Melanie. Hello, hello. This is definitely a video. You're going to want to make sure you go back and watch the whole thing because we had 2 amazing fun folds here using our marbled Elegance designer series paper. Okay, so what do you guys think? Do you have a favorite? The one on the left is what we're calling our double flap, triple flip card, where we've got this fun flap of designer series paper. We've got this peekaboo heart, and then it opens, and we have more hearts on the inside. So fun. All right, and then we have this fancy gift card holder. I'm gonna leave this one because it's all so nicely tied. All right, and I did a little demo knot on this one. With this one, it looks like your basic card, but when you untie it and open it, we've got this one I did not secure because I was using it for demo purposes. You've got, using a little bit of tear and tape, we create a pocket for a gift card. You can write your message in here. Super fun. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Hilda. And if you haven't subscribed already, please, please hit that that subscribe button, the notification bell as well. All right. I don't send out lots of updates or anything like that, so you're not going to get all these, fancy dings and things. But I do go live on Tuesdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah. Oh, all right. Just reading back through your comments here. Oh, thank you, Carol. Aw. Yeah, so I had seen this technique. I had it saved of a Pinterest board that I call Stampin' Techniques. And don't go looking because I actually have a secret Pinterest board where I keep just for class ideas and things like that. But I had pinned an idea a couple of years ago. And when I saw this collection, I thought, oh my goodness, that fun fold I had seen years ago would be perfect for this. So, and yes, I'm pleased with the way it turned out. Again, that ribbon will relax a little bit, and if you do stick your card in an envelope, or quite often I use a clear envelope. All right, if you do that, that will help. Just put your ribbon into position as you slide it in the envelope, and then those crazy ribbons will calm down over time, and eventually they will stay put. Okay. Well, my voice held up just to the end, so I'm going to say thank you for joining me. I hope you loved these. Definitely like and share, and tune in again on Tuesday. I'll see you then. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.